Greetings everybody and welcome back to Ingenarius Cuborum, my Let's Play of Minecraft featuring the Feed the Beast Ultimate Pack and, to a somewhat lesser extent, Flans mod. I'm actually in a testificate village not too far from the airport at Mediolanum because I need emeralds. There are two ways in Minecraft to get emeralds. The first is to go mining in an extreme hills biome. There may be a few other biomes that I can mine emeralds in, but the extreme hills is the most common. The second, and frankly easier way, is to find a testificate who will trade something you have lots of for emeralds. Like this guy, who will trade books for emeralds. So I'm going to go ahead and take 5 emeralds off of him in exchange for 55 books. And after a brief flight to Mediolanum, I shall return. Or not Mediolanum, Byzantium. Sorry. Wrong base. I'm at Mediolanum flying to Byzantium. I shall return. Alright, I've made it back to my base. I will concede a minor glitch off camera involving the airplane and me pressing the wrong button on the keyboard. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've been doing off camera. As you can see, I've crafted myself a second redstone energy cell. I've also gone ahead and crafted 4 of these magmatic engines. And let me show you the recipe for the magmatic engine. It's 3 invar ingots, a redstone transmission coil, which is 2 redstone surrounding a silver ingot, and then at the bottom you have the piston and the invar gears, which is invar surrounding iron ingots. Not gears. Yes, that did kind of trip me up when I actually made this, because my assumption was it's a gear, it's going to use some lower level gear in its recipe because it's not a wooden gear. But at any rate, I've got a fully charged redstone energy crystal, or energy cell rather. This one is charging, but I'm not going to be getting back to using those for a while. I mean, I have cleared out 2 quarries, one 8x8 and one 16x16 in the mining world. I've got a 3rd quarry, and I haven't actually measured its interior space yet. But I think, just to minimize the risk of problems with those engines, I'm just going to go ahead and shut off the power to the lava extraction from this lava tank that's been used to supply the engines. They will shut down eventually once they run out of lava, and they'll be safe until they do because they've got a redstone energy cell to eat up all the energy. Alright, in the meantime, rather than go magmatic, now I'm having some thoughts about how I want to do things. I think my next big project is going to be to give myself an automatic item sorting system over here. I mean, obviously, yes, the platform will have to be extended a bit before I can do that, but there are a lot more prerequisites to that. My inclination is to use a mod called Applied Energistics for that. The problem is that an Applied Energistics auto-sorting system is going to require either buildcraft power or industrial craft power. And there might be other sources of power maybe, but those are the 2 big ones. And my inclination is to use industrial craft power. I just think it's a little bit more efficient if it uses industrial craft power as opposed to buildcraft power. There are, as I see it, 3 ways I can get that power over here. The first is to build a set of solar panels to power the system over here. I don't know if I quite have the infrastructure set up to do that at this point in time. I probably will later on, but not yet. Option number 2 is to run a cable directly from the existing system over here, the existing power generation system over here, underneath this pathway here all the way down there. The problem is that to avoid energy loss, I'm going to need probably an MFE somewhere around here, where I'm looking right now underneath the platform, just to ensure that I don't actually lose any juice on its way over here. The third option is to build a liquid duct along that same route and build another set of geothermal generators over there. Now, one solution requires infrastructure I don't have, and the other two, I have to point out, require me to actually build underneath the existing platform. There are two ways to do it. I could build a new platform underneath the existing platform, or I could build something that will give me easier access underneath the existing platform. I'm going to go for the latter option here, and you'll notice I have power typed in NEI. I'm going to go ahead and start with this Power Armor Tinker table. That requires 4 lapis, 4 iron, and one of these emeralds, which is why I picked them up at the village. So let me make my way over here. Other big thing I did off camera was start the process of moving some of my materials. I didn't move my lapis over, did I? Ah, well. I'm going to go ahead and put the iron there, put the emerald in the middle. I should only need the 1 for the time being. Make my way over to my old setup over here. Go ahead and grab myself 4 lapis lazuli. I've moved my redstone over already. See, I thought I had iron nuggets left over. I do. They're in this chest here. Alright. So now I'm going to go ahead and make my way back over to where my sorting system will eventually be. And then here I'm going to go and put my lapis lazuli, and that's going to allow me to craft this Power Armor Tinker table, which I'm actually going to go ahead and set down. Yeah, here works. Now, when I right-click on this, it says no modular power suit items found in inventory. Make some. We recommend experimenting with steel plates and basic circuits. Well, I'd say it's time to make some of those modular power suit components. But first off, I think this is the chest that has the redstone in it. So I'm going to go ahead and craft myself some of this wiring. Now I'm going to go ahead and start off with the power armor head here, which requires 2 wirings and 3 iron ingots. And there's the head. The torso requires 6 iron ingots and 2 wirings. The legs require 5. And the feet require just 2 iron ingots. Now that does completely exhaust my wirings, and that's fine for the time being. Alright. Now when I open it up, I see the 4 items of armor I just generated. Not that they do all that much at the moment. In fact, let me equip them. Take off the lat pack for the time being. And as you can see, I have no armor value. And while I've got the lat pack off, I might as well recharge it while I'm over here. I don't know how much I'll need at this episode. But at any rate, I'll make my way back to the Tinker table. And I need to see what options I have. We'll start with the torso, and you can see the 3 movement options. This jetpack is what I want, but it requires 4 of these ion thrusters. So, what's an ion thruster? See, it's that right there, and the recipe is solenoids, iron, glowstone, and these force field emitters. The solenoids aren't too bad, 3 iron and 6 wirings. And I need 2 of those. In fact, what I'm going to do is run over here, grab 1 piece of gold, and what iron I have out of there. Also grab all the gold nuggets I have out of there. I don't know how much wiring I'm going to need, but I think it's probably safe to turn all of those gold nuggets into wirings. It's going to give me, I think, 56 wirings. It should be enough, but until I can be assured that it will be enough, I'm just going to play it by ear, I guess. Anyway, wirings, 56 of them. Now, solenoid, I'm going to go ahead and put the recipe up here. Go ahead and craft 2 of those. There we go. Alright. Ooh, no, I needed 8 of those, didn't I? There we go. Wow. And I have 8 wirings left. Okay. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. 4 ender pearls per force field emitter. 2 force field emitters per ion thruster. And the jetpack requires 4 ion thrusters. Ouch. The shock absorbers require 2 servo motors and 2 wool. I can at least get that, I think. So let's go servo motor, 2 solenoids, an iron, and a wiring. Looks like I'm going to be going through a lot of wirings. Wait, I have solenoids. I can always craft more solenoids when I actually get the ender pearls I need to be able to craft what I need. So, servo motors. See, I need 2 of those. There we go. And I probably should have grabbed 2 wool while I was over here. Which chest has my wool? This one right here. There we go. And now make my way back over here. Power armor feet. I have the materials, 2 servo motors and 2 wool, so I can go ahead and install them. And now you can kind of see this power gauge down here. And I can certainly adjust it. Now, bumping this up does 2 things. It increases the distance reduction, which is basically how much the distance I fall is reduced by. But then I certainly want that 100%. But it also increases the energy consumption, which I think is 10 joules per meter. I'm assuming that per meter means per meter it removes as far as the, or is it per meter of fall? I don't know. At any rate, let's take a look at our elite battery, and that requires an HV capacitor. Let's actually take a look at our capacitors. Alright, we have our LV capacitor, which is wiring, paper, and iron. The MV capacitor requires a gold ingot and lapis lazuli. Yeah, looks like I'm going MV. Alright, now I should be able to spare some paper. And probably some gold nugget. Probably some gold, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and turn the gold into nuggets. Might as well grab some lapis lazuli out of there. Which chest did I put my reeds in? Oh, I have paper. Well, never mind then. Yes, you did see I had 2 ender pearls in that chest. I need a total of 16 for the jetpack, so I'm not going to be crafting it anytime soon. Alright. But let's see. Alright, iron ingot, paper, lapis, wiring. Alright, that's 3 MV capacitors. Might as well turn the rest of these iron ingots into wirings. I suspect I'll need them. Alright. So now I can go ahead and take my torso. I've got an MV capacitor, so I'll go ahead and install one on the torso. And with the tinker you see here, I now have a maximum energy and a weight. And I can increase this, which increases both the maximum energy and the weight. I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to 500 kJ here. I'm going to go ahead and install one in the helmet as well. Leave that at 100 kJ. And for the feet, I think I want, let's see, minimum is 2, so let's bump that up to, can I get it to almost exactly 6? Yeah, 300 kilojoules. Okay. There we go. And now there are a few different ways to charge this capacitor-laden power armor. I believe one of them is to use this MFE. There we go. And that's charging up. And before too much longer, this will be at 500 kilojoules. And there we go. And now the feet will be at its maximum complement of 300 kilojoules before too much longer. And the head is already at its maximum complement of 100. And if you look at the upper left-hand corner, oh, that's taking a long time to drain of the lava. Wow, and it's produced a lot of power in the meantime. At any rate, if you look at the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you can see how much power I have available and how much power all of my power armor can collectively store. So you can see I've got 900 kilojoules of power, and I can store 900 kilojoules of power. I'm at maximum. Now, there are lots of different modules that can do lots of different things, but now, I would say that my priority is this jetpack, but I also need to look at this diamond, at this plating. Let's see. So what's the, wait, what did that require again? An advanced plating. So let's take a look at, there we go. There's our advanced plating. It's a solenoid and 5 diamond. I think I might have crafted one of these in an effort to get something earlier. Might have been titanium. Alright. And if I go for the basic, for the iron plating, that's a basic plating. So, basic plating, wiring surrounded by 5 ingots. I probably don't have enough diamonds. Well, maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know offhand. I'm trying not to be too liberal with my... They're all on the other side, aren't they? See, that's the problem. I was actually kind of in the middle of moving things over when I started this episode, so I forget what's where. Actually, I mean, if I had the 4 solenoids, I do have exactly 4 solenoids. I mean, it's going to eat up the majority of my diamonds, but it's going to get me pretty good armor, I think. So let's go ahead, install the diamond plating on all 4 pieces of my armor. Alright. As you can see, I have my same tinker here. So I'm going to get my armor physical and then the weight as well, which I know I'm definitely adding a lot of weight to this, and I think it's going to slow me down a little bit. Yeah. Now that's going to max out effectively my armor gauge at 10 armor units or 20 points. Yeah. Let's see. So we have our shock absorber here, which is great. 16 kilos, 4 kilos. Yeah, I'm pretty heavy. Let me see. Alright, let's see. An uphill step assist is 2 servo motors, and 4 servo motors for a sprint assist, and then another 4 for a jump assist. So I think a total of 10 servo motors, if I can remember the recipe for the servo motor. That's... ouch. And I'm looking at 10 of those. Ouch. Let me actually take off some of that armor just to try to renormalize my running speed. I think I might have made it a bit too heavy. At any rate, 4 more gold ingots into gold nuggets. Recipes for server. Okay, yeah, I'm actually okay on that front. I should have the redstone to pull this off, too. At least for now. Let me think. Redstone's in this chest? Oh, yeah. I'll easily have enough. So go ahead and turn all of those into wirings. Let me think. The server requires 20 solenoids. Really? 20 of these? Well, that's 14. I'm going to have to grab some more iron to finish off the solenoids. Which I believe I have in my electric furnace over here. Oh, yeah. And I could probably put, yeah, more iron dust to put in there. Alright. I'd say I'm pretty good on iron for the time being. So let me go ahead and make my way back over here. There we go. So there's my 20 solenoids. So go ahead and put the wiring up there. Solenoids left and right. Iron in the middle. And now you have 10 servo motors. It's great. So now I can take my power armor legs. I can add a sprint assist. I can add a jump assist. And I can add an uphill step assist. Now the uphill step assist, you'll notice, has no tinker possibilities. It's just automatic. The jump assist, alright, let's see, jump boost. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to see if I can't get this to about 200% here. Alright, and just because of the need for jump exhaustion, I'm going to go ahead and set that to, you know what, I'll set that at 300%. It does mean 17.5 joules used per jump, but A. And then as for the sprint, alright, I'm going to go ahead and set my compensation at 100%, power at 300%, and then the walking speed multiplier at 200%. Yeah. Alright. Go ahead and put on the power armor. And as you can see, I am now sprinting a lot faster. I can also jump a fair bit higher. And that's even with the effect of weight on me. I'm going to do something pretty crazy here. But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and send this minecart downstairs. Because I'm going to need it. And actually, one other thing I should probably consider doing. Let me think. I don't think I had any spare swords, do I? I don't think I do. Where was my, there it is. Chainsaw. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and put, pretty much everything else up, including my diamond drill, and my torches, and the lap pack. I've got barrels for the dirt, which I'll go ahead and put up on my way downstairs. And in case you're wondering, I did set up a few extra barrels because I've got at this point 4 whole barrels full of cobblestone and more than a barrel full of dirt. Oh, crud. Well, the good news is I can easily make, well, somewhat easily make my way up this mountain. There we go. Now up these 2 high ridges. Alright. Yeah. And let's see what happens about that. Yeah. That's what the step assist is doing. Alright. Well, I had hoped to show off the Oh, I forgot what that module is called already, but doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. Oh well. I think that said, I'm probably going to go ahead and grab some food, do some Enderman hunting until I get enough Ender Pearls to actually make the jetpack, and I shall return. Well, that was a bust. Turns out I miscalculated the energy usage of the various modules I had installed, and especially the chainsaw as well, which ate up a surprising amount of power from the armor. Didn't expect that. But it did mean I had to abort my hunt a bit early, unfortunately. The good news is I do have a plan B as to how I'm going to get the Ender Pearls. And it's going to require me working all the way through the equivalent exchange tech tree. So I'm going to start out by setting up everything except the gold. Let me grab the gold ingots out of there. I've also taken the liberty of retinkering with the armor so that the armor doesn't provide nearly as much protection. For general use, I don't need to provide too much protection. At any rate, the gold in the middle, surrounded by iron ingots with smooth stone in the corners, gives me this inert stone. And the inert stone plus shards of minium gives me this minium stone. Now, if I put the minium stone with 4 iron, I'm going to go ahead and craft myself 16 ender pearls off of that. And stick them in here. In case you're wondering how I got the minium shards, they're an occasional drop from mob. They're an occasional mob drop. Any mob can drop a minium shard. I have more than a few. I think I still got 4 left up here, and then at least a stack, maybe even 2 stacks in one of the barrels near my blaze farm in the nether. What I'm going to do is, no, I'm not getting the, no. I need to make sure I get the right component name. For the torso, I need the jetpack, the ion thruster. Okay, ion. There we go. And remember that each ion thruster requires 2 of these force field emitters. Ooh. Uh-oh. Maybe I need more iron. Maybe I need even more ender pearls. In fact, I'm pretty sure I do. And unfortunately, that's going to mean I need more iron. There's got to be a way for me to get more iron. I'll see if I can't get some more iron and then come back. Alright, while I've been smelting a fair bit of iron, I've managed to get myself my 48 solenoids. So now I just need to generate my force field emitters. Let's go ahead and put the solenoids and the ender pearls. And there we go, 8 force field emitters. Now I'm almost able to craft my ion thrusters. I just need glowstone dust to put in the middle. 4 ion thrusters. And now I make my way over here to the power armor torso, jetpack, install, 160. Did I put a flight control up there? I don't think I did. So, first off, let's go ahead and max out the battery on every component that has a battery. That is going to increase weight, but I'm going to need the flight time, I think. I'm also going to go ahead and take off the armor and look up the control circuit recipe. Oh, that's not hard at all. I mean, really, the only complication is the cactus green. So, let me think. I should have some cactus to spare over here that I can turn into cactus green. And once I have that, I'll have my control circuit. Yeah, there we go. 2 cactus, and then make my way over to my industrial craft area. Oh, right, I forget. The legs have no power of their own. I'll consider what I'm going to do about power for the legs. Alright? But at any rate, let's go ahead and put my armor up in the MFE. And go ahead and put some cactus in the electric furnace. There we go. Alright, there's full power in my head. And now for the feet. And the torso is already fully charged, so I'm actually good on that front. Cactus green is done. So I'm going to go ahead and make my way back over here. Check the recipe again. I need glowstone, 2 redstone, and 2 gold. In addition to the wiring and the cactus green I've already got. So, 2 redstone, a glowstone, 2 gold. Now, try to remember here. Glowstone, redstone, cactus green, wiring, control circuit. And now back over to the Tinker table, and I can go ahead and install a flight control. And, well, like the, I think it's the step assist, the uphill step assist, yeah. There is no Tinker option for the flight control, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle both my jetpack and my flight control to Y. And then as for U, I think I'm going to do everything movement related off of U. Except for the uphill step assist, because that's kind of a freebie anyway, so... Or, actually, while mining, it might be beneficial to not have that on. So I'll go ahead and put all that on U. Alright. So as you can see, Y allows me to toggle that off. Yeah. There we go. Nice. And then I can just toggle that off and send down where I'm at. That's nice. Alright. And next episode, I think, is when I use this new power suit to get power from there to there. Until then, this has been Ingenarius Cuborum. See you next time, everybody.